Making your own maple syrup doesn't have to be hard. In this video, I'll show you the equipment that we use to tap our trees. We'll go through the tapping process, and by the end of this, you'll be able to tap your own backyard trees. So to get started, obviously you need some maple trees. Now, how do you identify those? In the summer, that's easy. They've got the leaves on them. No problem. You can pick out the maple trees by their characteristic leaf shape. Now, in the winter and in the spring, when you're tapping the trees, if you don't know which ones are maples ahead of time, it can be a little bit more challenging. So in general, the bark on the maple is kind of a grayish color. Younger trees tend to have a smoother, lighter gray bark, and as the trees age, the bark gets a little bit darker gray and a little bit rougher and more scaly. In terms of the equipment that you need, it's not much. You're going to need a spile. So I've got two spiles here, or spouts. This one is a older style metal one that's a 7/16 inch diameter. Then I've got these plastic ones which are 5/16, so slightly smaller diameter. Better for the trees, smaller hole diameter, and I found that the yield doesn't really change too much. You're going to need a collection device. Now, we're not very exciting. We just use plastic pails. I like the metal pails, but they're more difficult to find now, so we found these plastic ones and they work well. But other people you can use 5-gallon pails, you can use bags. It doesn't really matter as long as you're collecting the sap off the trees. Now, you're going to have to drill a hole into the tree, so you need to make sure that your drill bit matches the spile that you're using. So you can see here I've got the drill bit and I've got it marked. So this is 1 3/4 inch, so that I don't drill any deeper into the tree than I need to. So you're really just trying to target the sapwood on the tree. So you want to get through the bark and target the sapwood, but you don't need to go too far. And then I've got lids. You know what? It makes it easier for me. If I might not collect the sap on the trees every night, if you do get some rain or some snow, you're not going through the extra boiling to boil down the water that's in the buckets. So Dan and I here, we're gonna hop on the four-wheeler, head to the front of the property. We've got a cluster of maples there, and they tend to be the first ones to run. They get a little bit more of the afternoon sun, as opposed to some that are in the back of the bush that get the morning sun and tend to run a little bit later in the year. So we're gonna start with the front cluster of maples. All right, Dan, hop on. Nice big old maples here, and then we've got some younger ones too. So I've got a tree here that I've tapped before. You're measuring at around the diameter at breast height, which is around, I think, 4 feet from the ground. This is about as small as you want to be. So this is about 10 inches diameter. Right there. I tied the knot so that I knew where it was. The bark on this maple tree is a darker gray. It's a little bit scaly. There's some vertical ridges versus the younger trees here, which is a lighter gray and quite a bit smoother. Okay, so we've identified our maple tree. Step 1. Step 2 is, where do we tap on this tree? You can see here that there's a series of older tap holes that have healed up nicely, but I want to stay away from those. Right there? That's a little bit high. Yeah, because we're standing on quite a bit of snow. So here, you take the hammer, take the spout.
I remember breaking one doing this.
We're going to drill right here. We'll go at a slight upward angle.
Get a bucket. I want to break it.
Break it.
Another time.
A little more. Until it makes a thud. So it's certainly not gushing out right now. Generally, you want the temperature to be, to get sap flow, it's got to be hovering between freezing at night, so around 5 degrees below freezing at night, and +5 or 5 degrees above freezing during the day. That's kind of the optimal temperature. So it's been pretty cold, but it's dripping ever so slightly.
It's very full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad, come and check out this one. Oh, that's cute. Oh, wow.
Whoa. Hang it back up.